Centripetal force. Basically, centripetal force is a force that makes an object, like planets or other satellites in space, follow a curved path. The word centripetal means center-seeking. What better place to study centripetal force than on the largest artificial satellite in space, the International Space Station?
If I were to rotate this thing on the string around this bungee, and let me do this, you can see that the string pulls taut and stays tight. And the tool continues to rotate around the bungee. In fact, if you look really close at the bungee, you can see that the bungee bends at the point that it's rotating, and it bends toward the tool. And that is caused by the centripetal force due to the angular acceleration of the tool as it rotates around, keeping this string tight and keeping the rotation in a circular motion. It's the same kind of force that applies to the rotation of planets around the sun, or the moon around the Earth, or the space station around the Earth.
Centripetal forces affect things here on Earth, as well as in space. Things like Ferris wheels or the acceleration of a car going around a curve. But what other applications might this force have in space?
You've heard a lot of talk, perhaps, in regards to space exploration about artificial gravity. Perhaps you've seen some science fiction movies. For example, Star Trek, the TV show and the movies, they had gravity on board. They had some kind of a mysterious artificial gravity, make-believe, of course. But we've talked for years about artificial gravity on board a spacecraft, especially when you're going for a long period of time. For various reasons. One of the ways you could produce artificial gravity is by having a space station that rotates. Maybe very big, and the bigger it is, the slower the rotation would have to be to produce that centripetal force.
Jeff said that the bigger the station, the slower it would have to spin to create the centripetal force needed to make that artificial gravity. To find out why, we have to check out the math. Centripetal acceleration is equal to the velocity of the object squared, divided by the radius of the object. Spin is velocity divided by radius. The radius is the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circle. The spin and size of the radius are actually in inverse proportion. On a spinning station, the larger the radius, the smaller the rate of change needed to simulate gravity.
Theoretically, you could do that. Theoretically, you could take a large station and produce through centripetal force, sort of an artificial gravity to keep everything in its place. But the problem with that is when it's not very practical, because when you spin something and we turn our head around, our vestibular system will get a little bit messed up, and it's like if you're going around on a merry-go-round, riding a merry-go-round, then you step off the thing, or you spin around until you get dizzy. It'd be the same kind of thing. So I'm not sure artificial gravity in that way is very practical.
Wonder who will be the first to produce artificial gravity? But hey, don't just sit there and spin your wheels. Use that math to help solve this challenge. I'll see you next time on Real World.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We're now ready for takeoff, so please fasten your seatbelts.